all, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the popular Tree of Life wreath. Stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to make it.
All right, let us get started. First off, what you're going to need, one of these wreath frames. This wreath frame came from Dollar Tree. It is the 14-inch frame. That's what we are going to be using. I also have some of this nautical rope from Dollar Tree. It is 9.5 feet long. Now, we all know that the Dollar Tree rope has been getting thinner. As you can see, this rope is pretty thin. It's been getting thinner, and they haven't been giving us as much, per roll. So I have a handful of these. I don't know how many it'll take, but I will tell you when I get done wrapping this wreath frame. So what we're going to do is we're just going to wrap this frame in this rope. Now I do have some thicker rope over here that came from Joann's that I think will be more suitable to making the tree than this thinner stuff. But anyway, let us cut this taped end off. And I'm going to flip the form over. I was getting ready to say mold. I've been pouring resin today too. I was getting ready to say flip the mold over. And I'm going to put some hot glue here, and then we're just going to fold the end over and glue it to itself just to hold it in place like so. And I'm going to hold this down just for a second for that glue to set up, and then we're going to wrap it. Now, I have seen these wreaths made where people weave the rope in and out. You can do that if you want to, but that does take slightly more rope than just wrapping it. And like I said, because I don't know how much rope it's going to use, I'm going to be just wrapping it so I don't use more than what I have to. All right. So anyway, let us begin wrapping this around. Now, my jewelry here, jewelry time, ring and bracelets. This came from Paparazzi. We all know Paparazzi has beautiful $5 jewelry. So the ring was $5 and the bracelet was $5. If you want to check out and see what all they have, they got lots of cool stuff. Look in the description box down below and I'll have a link that says Paparazzi. You just click on that and click on shop and then make your purchase. Mother's Day is coming up, so be a good time to grab some stuff. All right, so you can see I'm kind of pressing this against each other here. I'm not trying to squeeze it tight or wrap it tightly because then you're going to bend the rings of your wreath. We're just going to wrap it around, trying to keep it side by side. And then when we get to the end here, we're just going to glue the end over on itself, just like we did a while ago, to hold it in place. And then we will start out with another pack of rope. I was hoping that I could get this rope around one whole section. That way, I would know better about how much rope it's going to use. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I want to keep you on the video here till I get done with this section here so that we can kind of take a look at how much we might need. Okay, so I'm thinking probably, I want to say 8 packs. I don't think I have that much. I might have to go back to the store and get some more. But anyway, I'm going to keep wrapping. I'm going to do the whole entire frame, and I'll come back and tell you how much I used. So that would be about 76 feet of rope that you would need to wrap this thing in its entirety. Now, that is using their rope, okay? If you use a thicker type of rope, of course, you're not going to need that much. I'm just telling you how many of these I used. I used 8. So now, while I have the rope out, we are going to start cutting some pieces to make our tree. So the tree trunk is going to be here. The roots are going to fan out. And then, the branches up here will fan out. So what I'm going to do is, let's take some of this rope. Now, this big rope I think this one came from Joann's, but you can find it at any craft store pretty much. We're going to take it and stretch it out here. The trunk of your tree is going to be in the middle, of course, and then right about here, it's going to start fanning out into your branches, and you're going to need enough to wrap around and glue to the back. Okay, so take that into consideration. I'm going to pull it just a few inches above the edge there, and then let's pull it down just a few inches past there, and then we're going to measure that. So I just want to show you how I'm coming up with how long I'm going to cut my rope here. So let's measure that, and that will be 23 inches. Okay, so I'm going to cut a handful of pieces of rope at 23 inches. We are going to be gluing on the stones first before we make our tree for the center. But like I said, while I've got the rope out, I'm going to go ahead and cut a few pieces. Ah, where's the tape? There. It's stuck. Stuck on you. I got this rope down deep in my soul. All right, so keep cutting here. I'm going to cut a handful, 10 maybe. I may not use that many, but I'm just going to cut them, and then we're going to get some rocks over here and start gluing those on. Okay, I have all of my rope pieces cut. Now I can clear all of the rope out and just put it away. So this bag of rocks here, I got because there's a bunch of different colors in here, and I thought it would be nice instead of, you know, just the neutral colors that you can find at Dollar Tree. But you can get stones, river rocks at Dollar Tree. You can get them at Walmart over in the, like with the fake flowers and such. So now what we're going to do is we need to glue these on before we put our tree on. Had to pause right quick. My cat's trying to come in. This cat has separation anxiety. So now all that you're going to do is use your hot glue gun here. And you can back that up with E6000 if you want to. If this is going to be hanging outside, I highly suggest that you back it up with some E6000. Put your hot glue on there and then a few dots of E6000 around it. So now let us get a different color. You can hear my cat's over here fussing at me. Now this is going to be a very heavy wreath, okay? Because you have all this rope, which in and of itself is fairly heavy. And now we're putting on all of these rocks. So I highly suggest that when you hang this up, you use like a heavy duty wreath hanger, or like I have explained in a lot of my other videos, you can take some wire and run the wire through the back, through some of these loops, just some heavy duty wire, and use that to hang it up, okay? But we're just going to glue on all of these rocks, and this is going to take me a minute because I want to position these correctly and kind of get a good mix of the colors here. So give me a minute and I'll be back. Okay, so we have all of the rocks glued on here, and I want to show you how I'm gluing on the branches, which is then going to be the trunk, and then the roots. So I had cut a bunch of strips of rope, and then I just started separating it like this. You see how this one's thinner than this one? I don't want them all uniform, all the same size. It's supposed to, you know, be natural like a tree, right? So because this is going to be hard to show on camera because this is heavy, and I'm going to have to flip-flop it back and forth if I showed you live. What I did is, you see how I have these pieces here? I'm just bringing it up, and then I'm wrapping it around the wreath, and then I'm gluing it to the back. And then let's say that we pull this one over here, wrap it around and glue it to the back so that this piece is hanging down front. So let's see, I have a few pieces glued here. Okay, and you see how all of these are coming down? That's what you want to do. Just glue around the back, and let's flip it over. You see like these little pieces here where I brought her, and I'm going to trim all this up later. Don't worry about it. I'm going to trim this off. See how I just wrapped it around and glued it. Wrapped it around and glued it. And I'm holding it in my lap as I'm doing this. But anyway, you see how these are starting to come down. Now, when you get as many on here as you want, you're going to take them and you're going to twist them like so. And see how that's going to make your trunk. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to start separating them again, bringing them down, wrapping them around the back, and that's going to be your roots, okay? But anyway, I'm going to glue some more of these on there and then come back and we will do the rest of it. Okay, well, I didn't use all 10 pieces of rope that I cut a while ago, but it's okay. It is all right. So I'm going to cut a piece of this thin twine here. I'll show you why here in a second. Okay, so we have all of these glued on. So now what I want to do to make it look more like a tree, I'm not just going to gather them all together and start twisting. I'm going to grab some of these up here and just twist them together. And then let's add in a few more and twist. Add in a few more and twist. Then add in a few more and twist. See how it staggers the twists? And then add in a few more and twist. I think that makes it look a little bit better. A little bit more tree-like. Let's bring these around. It's a little bit tighter there. Okay. So let's get these twisty, twisty, twisty. See how that looks. That looks okay. So where did my doohickey go? I'm going to take this twine and I want to wrap it just right around here to kind of help us to hold that twist in place, okay? I'm just going to wrap it around, and then I'm going to tie it and make sure that the knot that I'm tying is in the back. Okie dokie. So now what we're going to do is just take this twist down here, and then you're just going to bring this down and start gluing it. See how I'm coming over the rocks? I'm going to keep the root like thicker than up here towards the top. That's just me. You do whatever you want to do. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to bring it down, and let's find a good place to glue this to hold it in place. So I'm going to glue it right about here, and then I'm going to start dividing these into the roots, okay? So let's just put us a big old blob of glue right there. I think that is centered. If it's not centered, then guess what? I'll glue some more rocks on it to make it look more centered. So anyway, I'm going to hold that in place till that glue sets up, and then we're going to start dividing up our roots. So I think that is that. So now I'm just going to start, putting like little blobs of glue here and there to kind of help to navigate these over these rocks. And then we're just going to glue it down, and then I'll flip it over and I'll, glue down all of the pieces around the back. But I want these to kind of, see how they're kind of like woven in among the rocks? That's kind of what I want, kind of what I'm going for here. Let's see if I can bring that idea to fruition. Sometimes you get an idea in your head and just don't go. But anyway, I know lots of people are making these. So, but this is the way I want to do mine. So I'm just going to weave it in the rocks however I want. And then I'll put the glue down to hold everything in place. So let me work on this and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got my roots all glued down. Let's take a look at those. Now up here at the top, I have some of this moss from Dollar Tree. This is reindeer moss. You use whatever kind of moss you want. Now they did have the bright, I don't have any, aha. See this brighter green floral moss here, but I don't know. I like this color better because it's a little bit more muted. I didn't like that really stark bright green contrast, So now I'm just going to, let's try to, and this stuff makes it too. I just said a bad word, probably the first bad word I've ever said on this channel. Oh well, it'll be all right. All right. We're going to glue that down like so. And I've got 3 packages of this, so we'll see how much it takes. I know that there's not nearly as much moss in these packages as the other types of moss, but we'll see. I'll tell you how much I use. Putting this here. I'm sorry, y'all can't see what I'm doing. I've had a heck of a day, y'all. It has been, it has been a day. It has been a day. That's all that I can say. It's been a day. Hey, I made a rhymey. Okay. Just stick that down there. Now I'm going to finish up this package and I'll use the other ones and we'll see how much I use. I am very, very happy with how this has turned out so far. And now because it's me and y'all know I'm extra, you can leave it like this. Absolutely. Because what I'm about to do is 100% and totally optional. With the strong Cherokee bloodline that I have, I make a lot of dream catchers and wall hangings and such. So I have tons of feathers and beads. Now for this next part, like I said, totally and completely optional. Don't feel like you got to go out and spend money on all these feathers and whatnot. I am going to put some feathers and some beads together and hang it off of the bottom. So let's get some of this twine here. And let's see. I'm just cutting. Where did my scissors go? Here they are. Ah, I just dropped a feather. Fly away. So I'm just taking this piece of twine here and I'm just going to glue it to one of these feathers. Like I said, this in my house is going to be an inside thing. I'm going to hang it probably here in my craft room because I'm really, really liking it. So I'm just gluing some of these feathers and this twine together. I'm going to hold it there until the glue sets up. I'm taking my beads here. Let's trim this because you see how kind of frayed that end is there? Where did it go? I'm just going to take it. I need a bigger bead than that. I'm just going to take it and I'm going to thread it through these beads. And then we're going to bring it down. And you see like the end of the feathers here? I'm just tucking that down up inside the bead like so. And the bead is going to kind of help to hold those feathers on there as well. And then we're just going to take other types of beads. This might be too small. I'm just going to thread a handful of beads onto my twine. Okay. So now I have my little doohickey here made. I'm going to glue this to the back. Like I said, if this is going to be hung outside, I highly suggest you use E6000 to back it up. Or you could take a yarn needle, you know, the ones with one of the big eyes, thread your twine through it, and then run it through a loop on the back. But I've got a lot of glue on here because of, you know, I put the roots down. And I don't want to have to fight with the glue and a needle. So I'm just going to glue this to the back of it. So I'm probably going to make a handful more of these. Let's see if I can kind of turn this over. There we go. Let's see. I'll just have it hang down just a little bit. I hate when I try to do something that I can't, you know, really show you in its entirety on camera. See, so I'm just going to glue it down like so. And then I will trim off the excess, okay? So I'm going to make a handful of these. Just try to space them evenly. I think I might make 5. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how many beads and feathers. Oh, there's some orange feathers. I didn't realize I had those bright orange ones. But I'm going to make a handful of these and put on here. And I'll hang it up and I'll get a good picture for y'all. You've already seen it at the beginning, but I'll take another picture so that you can see it at the end, okay? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would, give it a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Check me out on other forms of social media. The links to all of which will be in the description box down below. And I hope to see y'all next time. Bye!